What's going on, y'all? My name is Greg Brown. You may or may not have seen some of the recent videos in my shift to this platform. My Instagram page was like shut down, right? And so it shut down. I got an email, and I've actually seen this email before on other platforms. Here's the thing. I run a business, obviously, right? And so if you are watching this and you do have a business and you're not leveraging social media, you are missing out on a large aspect of being able to reach people that you couldn't reach. Here's the challenge. If you're leaning on social media as your only way to do business, then just know one day it could be shut down and you're out of business. I think the bigger thing for me, man, is like I do have a lot of content on here that if my page were to be shut down, for me, it's just more so like the ideas that I'm sharing. I want to keep that stuff. And I think it was a big recognition, like you don't really have much say on what happens. And so with that being said, for me, I would say when it comes to content, the most trusted platform that I've ever used has been YouTube. So one of the things I want to start doing a bit more is sharing some content of some people that are doing phenomenal things and kind of reacting to what they're talking about, right? And so there's a guy, I honestly don't know how to pronounce his name. I know him as VT. You probably see him all over Instagram. But here's a video that I saw earlier today that I thought was extremely powerful. I wanted to share with you guys.
So distribution is the game. The most valuable companies in the world, guys, are not product companies.
He says distribution is the game, right? And so he'll explain what he means, right? Let's see.
So distribution is the game. The most valuable companies in the world, guys, are not product companies. They're not brand companies. They're distribution companies. Amazon is a distribution business. Amazon today has a more sophisticated logistics network than UPS, FedEx, and the Postal Service.
Okay, so he said Amazon is a distribution company, right? It's like McDonald's. A lot of people think McDonald's is strictly about the burgers, right? McDonald's isn't about the burgers. McDonald's is about what? It's about real estate. And it's really about real estate and distribution, right? Man, the fact that Amazon comes up, private company, and takes over the U.S. postal system? Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous.
Amazon today has a more sophisticated logistics network than UPS, FedEx, and the Postal Service. So the value of Amazon is linked directly to the growth in the logistics network of Amazon. I want you to consider this.
That's like, I'll give you a small example. Even Google, right? You look at Google. Now, obviously, Google, you see search engine, YouTube, all this stuff. But a lot of people don't realize that, like, when you even look at a company like Google, Google's focus is attracting the best talent, right? Like, I ask people all the time, what's Google's #1 product? And I say, it's Google, right? If you can sell Google to the top engineer or the top, what's the word, coder or, developer in the world, you're going to bring somebody that's going to, in turn, naturally create good product for you. So sometimes it's not always what we see at first glance. You got to look a couple layers deep into what's happening, because a lot of the best business owners in the world, they're not playing checkers, y'all. They're playing chess.
Here who bought stuff on Amazon who come from places where that stuff was delivered, and the founder of Amazon doesn't even know that place exists. So what did he fix? He fixed the distribution problem.
What did he fix? He fixed the distribution problem. I think this is so valuable because a lot of times we do things based off of our preferences, right? Like, for example, for me, my preference is video production, right? I had to make a decision. Hey, do I want to be the one? Like, you guys are going to see this video is not going to be crazily edited, things like that. I used to do video production. That's a preference of mine. But what I realized was there was a purpose for me that was bigger than that, right? There was things that I heard somebody say once, we have to stop submitting our purpose to our preference, right? So submitting our purpose to our preference, we got to flip it. We have to submit our preference to our purpose, right? It's like the person who they're not talkative. They don't like talking to people. They don't prefer to talk to people, but they've been given a gift that puts them on stage in front of thousands of people. They have to choose. I'm either going to say, hey, I'm going to give up my purpose so I can be comfortable with my preference, or I'm going to give up my preferences, be uncomfortable, and lean into my purpose, right? The reason I bring that up is that when it comes to business, a lot of times we choose businesses based on our preferences, but we should be choosing businesses based on I believe, purpose, but based on the problems that we can solve, right? You know, they say if you were to invent something, just figure out the things that you don't like about the world, the things that you don't, that you would like to change, find a solution. There you have it. Business. And then guess what? The marketplace actually pays you more for solving that problem. Business owners get paid based off of the size of the problem that they solve, right? So he says, what did he fix? He fixed the distribution problem. It's like, if I need to write something down and you give me this, well, now you're solving a problem for me and it's worth money. It's just not worth as much money as the distribution game, right? And so I think that's powerful. I think looking at, you know, products is one thing, but then how to distribute those products, right? So even for me, I stepped into the space of distribution, and then I looked at, okay, well, what are the biggest problems that the world is having, or America is having right now? Well, 7 out of the top 10 problems in America have to deal with what? With money, with finances, student loan debt, credit card debt, inflation, taxes, savings, a $700,000 wealth gap when it comes to building generational wealth in America today, right? And so when you look at these different things, they just piece together and they started to make so much sense for me. And so, but you got to ask yourself, what problems are you solving in the community? A lot of people look at Jeff, oh, he's got all this money, but we forget that he chose to solve a really big problem for people. So it's almost like someone chooses to solve a really big problem and then they get paid a lot, right? And then someone who chose their preference doesn't get paid as much and is almost like upset at the guy who chose to risk it all, the guy who chose to borrow $250,000 from his mom. By the way, y'all, no one's just borrowing $250,000 from their mom. You have to be really locked in and focused and intentional and convicted about what you're gonna do for, you know, yourself, for your family, for the community. And so I truly believe that the biggest business owners in the world are solving the biggest problems. And I think, you know, what we see here with VT, I think it's Vuzi, I don't know how to say his name, man, but you know, you see here VZ talking about that. The biggest way to solve a problem in business today, as we see, is through the distribution game, right? And so hope this brought some value to you. If it did, hit the subscribe button. I'm back to figuring this YouTube thing back out, but hit the subscribe button, click a thumbs up, shoot it over to somebody that you feel like could learn from this. And I'm excited to grow with you guys and post, you know, more content as we bring it back to YouTube on this platform. All right, take care. Peace out.
And I don't know where I'm going, but I'm learning as I'm growing. That's the evolution.